Hello. Today, my guides are asking us to deal with the energies of hopelessness and how it is that we can best stay above them and not get sucked into that vacuum that seems to take away all our wanting to stand up for ourselves, all our self-belief, all our self-esteem. Because there's so much happening in the world at this time that everybody carries with them this energy, even though they're not needing to, not wanting to, they're not even aware so many times. And with energy being everything, it is so easy just to walk past somebody and feel the energy that comes up with them. Most of this feeling of hopelessness comes from feeling of aloneness and a separation from spirit. And our guides would love us to know and just remind us that actually it is never like that. We are never alone. We might have times of walking a so-called lonely path with not other people on the same path as us, but our guides are with us. All of them, so many of them, they're right behind us. They're in front of us. They're either side of us. They're above us and below us. And they hold us in this wonderful space of peace and this wonderful space of protection. And we cannot be separated from them. Moving and working with our guides gives us an energy that we do not get from elsewhere. And if we can remember that our audience that we play to is not everybody else around us and how we think we look to them, our audience is our guides and Great Spirit. And bearing that in mind, we can become very, very aware that aloneness and separation are not the places that we actually do live in. They're not where we reside. If we were to accept the gifts that we have, what would happen? So many of what our gifts are, we perceive as shadow aspects of ourselves. We try and hide them. They're not the same as anybody else's. And we seem to have this thing where we need to aspire to be the same as everybody else. What they have is what we should aspire to be. And actually, no. Each and every one of us has come in with gifts. Those gifts come to us from our guides and also often from our ancestors, those gifts that they have given us in our birth and in our lives. And if we accept the things that we struggle with in the way that we struggle with them, if we accept the way we have always done it and look to see if there's another choice, what gifts are we uncovering? We are actually allowing those things that our guides need to have happen on this plane, on this earth plane, and that only each one of us working with our guides can bring that through. My gift is not your gift. Your gift is not your parents' gift. Everything is very, very specific. It's the purpose you have is to bring through these gifts on behalf of your guides. That makes us as important to our guides as our guides are to them, to us. And it is really, really important that we can accept, first of all, accept and acknowledge exactly what is happening in our lives, accept and acknowledge the choices we make, and accept that the gifts, each one of us has gifts that are very important and have purpose at this time. What holds us back is our judgment. We're so good at that. And more than judging others, we judge ourselves. We find ourselves lacking again because we feel we should be fitting into some kind of mold. If we can step away from our self-judgments, we find our purpose. We embrace our gifts, and we can become that person who we really are, that Great Spirit needs us to be at this time, in these energies, in this very specific time on this planet. And speaking of dealing with hopelessness, the hopelessness comes from our self-judgments and from our unacceptance of our gifts and of what we are experiencing at any time. Working with our guides shifts and changes all of that and brings us to a state of being where we can find that our plans have gone awry and that we can be joyful about that. And we are not being as positive and putting a spin on it. We can understand that as things play out, they are in the end the very best things that could play out for us. And that comes from working closely with our guides and trusting the process of the challenges and the things that we go through on a day-to-day basis. Thank you for joining me today. I would love to speak to you again at any time should you would like to contact me about any further work.